So we've been talking about numerous times how the theft at certain retail stores, especially like Walmart and Target and places like that, has gotten out of hand. And there's certain states that just let it run amok, I think is the right word here. California being that specific state that lets just anybody get away with anything. I think you can steal up to almost $1,000 and it's perfectly okay. Well, according to this is a website called Payments, P-Y-M-N-T-S, payments.com. I'm going to show you guys this here. This is something that I think is extremely important. Walmart and Target fund a campaign to stiffen shoplifting penalties. So Walmart and Target are putting their money where their money is leaving, I guess is the right way to phrase that. I don't even know how to phrase that, but according to this, they are the top funders of a campaign that aims to roll back a California law that critics say has led to a surge in retail theft. That surge in retail theft, let's not forget, makes it so that they are now having to raise prices even more. Inflation is happening because of numerous things, but retail theft is another reason why inflation has gotten as bad as it has, because especially in California, you allow people to just take whatever they want and there's no recourse, no repercussions for it. These businesses are having to raise their prices to offset the losses that they have from all of the retail theft, right? So according to this, the law, which is Proposition 47, enacted in 2014, aimed to reduce penalties for lower level drug and property crimes, but it has been criticized for leading to a surge in smash and grab robberies and other crimes. This is according to Bloomberg in a report that came out on Friday. The two retailers, Walmart and Target, are among those supporting a proposed ballot measure that seeks to give prosecutors more power to charge accused thieves as felons and compel drug users into treatment by threatening jail time. Which, you got to think, if, excuse me, if you've been able to get away with all this stuff for this long, and then before, when you would steal under a certain amount, it's considered a misdemeanor or whatever else, but now they want to make it a felony. Maybe that would deter some people from the things that they have been doing. Maybe that would lower or possibly curb retail theft. But especially in California, I can guarantee there is a large migrant crisis that way from Texas and over, plus people coming in the border in California. A lot of that theft is probably being done by non-locals, if you will, non-legal citizens of the United States. So for those people to get away with the crimes, why wouldn't they do it if they can just get away with it? Now, if there is the prospect of it being not a misdemeanor or, something can be just let go, but becoming a felony, that may make a difference. And maybe a felony, when you are not a legal resident, would send you right back over the border. So that's something to think about there, right? The proposed ballot measure excuse me, aims to address those concerns by giving prosecutors additional tools to combat theft and drug addiction. For example, it would allow prosecutors to charge accused thieves as felons by combining separate theft incidents to surpass the $950 threshold. This is according to the report. The reform would also increase sentencing for individuals involved in organized retail crime or those who steal more than $50,000 worth of property. Walmart has donated a whopping $1 million to the campaign supporting the proposed ballot measure, and Target has contributed half as much, $500,000. This is according, again, to Bloomberg. Other supporters include the California District Attorneys Association, a prison guard union, and Macy's. Now, the prison guard union being one of the supporters is interesting to me because what that means is the prison guard union, they're hoping to get more prisoners. Like, you got to really think about that. And why do they want more prisoners? Well, because we've talked about it before on previous videos where a lot of people in the prison system are working for the same companies that are putting their money in to do this reform. So it all works together. Nothing is what it seems. Nothing is what they're showing you straight on, right? So Walmart and Target, of course, they want people going to jail because then they are free labor in prison for products for vegetables, fruits and vegetables in the meat industry. There's a whole thing about it. We talked about how a lot of these companies use these prisoners for free labor while they're behind bars. And a lot of those companies are Walmart and big places like that, not just, whatever else. But it's very interesting that one of the people or one of the things supporting this proposition is a prison guard union. because it benefits them. It benefits Walmart. It benefits Target. It benefits Macy's. Not to prosecute them, but to have more people in jail. Technically, that's what it's about. More bodies behind bars who are free labor for these larger corporations. So I wanted to bring that to you. We started off with what, it's supposed to look like, but you need to really understand what it is. Yes, it's great that they want to charge people and stop the thefts, right? But there's always an underside to it, an underbelly to it, something that benefits them more than what's on the surface. And that benefit, as soon as you see a prison guard union is part of this, that benefit is more prisoners in the system, more prisoners they can use for that labor, more prisoners they can do who knows what with. Maybe instead of animal testing, they're using prisoners these days. Maybe instead of, testing out vaccines and diseases and whatever else, maybe they're testing them on prisoners these days. Who knows what goes on, really, truly goes on in prisons. We're never going to know exactly what goes on. Just something to kind of sort of think about there. The National Retail Federation, NRF for short, because everything's a three-letter organization these days, reported in September that retail shrink rose from $93.9 billion in 2021 to $112.1 billion in 2022. Now, inflation was happening then, so some of that is an inflated number, but it's also more people were stealing because more people over the pandemic in 2020, 2021, 2022 lost their jobs. So some people did resort to theft that way, but we've also had an influx of people through our borders since then as well. So maybe that has a lot to do with the added retail theft. Plus, it feels like there's a lot more little dumbass kids running around seeing things on TikTok or whatever and thinking smash and grabs are the way to get cool and go viral and whatever else. And, mom and dad won't give them money for the shoes, the jackets, the whatever. So they just go steal it. The makeup, the bags, the purses. So there's that too, right? Now, retailers are seeing unprecedented levels of theft coupled with rampant crime in their stores, and the situation is only becoming more dire. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but dire seems to be the new word that's being thrown around by a lot of people these days. This is according, though, to David Johnston, who is the Vice President for Asset Protection and Retail Operations at NRF, the National Retail Federation. In September, Target said it was shuttering 9 stores in 4 states. We talked about this in September, including California, due to a wave of shoplifting. The company said it had invested heavily in theft deterrence, but was unable to operate those 9 stores safely and successfully. Now, to me, that is, again, a big deal. Stores that did close down because of theft, there are stores, I think it was in Brooklyn, that had signed up that if you were under 18, you were not getting into their Target location without an adult because they didn't trust people that were going in there. There's too much theft going on. So now you have to be a certain age to go into stores. And that seems like a extreme way to go because it's not like only 18-year-olds and under steal. I'm pretty sure there's some grown-ass people out there stealing things too. But it was one of their ways to try to deter some sort of theft. But this right here, the ability to combine issues. So one, you'd have to know how much they've stolen before on a previous, theft, whatever. So you have, we'll say John Smith. You got John Smith over here who stole $200 one day, and then they have him on surveillance video at the same place, I guess, stealing $300. And then they have all this stuff. So then they're like, okay, well, as soon as he hits that 950 threshold, let us know. We'll smush them all together and we'll go after him as a felon. I feel like it'd be hard to really prove all of that, but at least they are trying to stop theft, if you will. But again, I feel like it's more of that thing that most people aren't going to put together and realize that because the more people you have in prison, the more free labor you have for the things that you want to do. And these corporations rely on that free labor to keep their costs down. Not that they pass it on to you and I, not at all whatsoever, but they use that as a way to... Can you imagine if they did not use prison labor, how much things would really cost if they were having to pay actual living wages to people instead of, hey, you're in prison, what else are you going to do? You do it or we don't feed you kind of thing. So that's that. There's a lot more I want to talk about, but that one I thought was very interesting. I wanted to bring it to your attention because from, again, the outside looking in, Walmart and Target fund campaign to stiffen shoplifting penalties. That, or stiffen, not stiffen. Come on now, Michelle. Stiffen shoplifting penalties sounds good. But there's always another side to the story, and it's a greedy one, in my opinion, when it comes to wanting more prisoners. So there's that. Squirrel Tribe, thank you for letting me talk to you about this. I have more stuff to bring you later on, but I wanted to get this one out and about now, and then I'm going to go eat some breakfast because I'm hungry. So there's that. Love y'all. See you later. Bye.